Zane the Aiden asks, at one point did you think, quote, I'm popular enough to talk to the living tombstone? That thought actually never crossed my mind. When I started making the first Bronies React, I only had 167 subscribers. So I wasn't in the I'm popular mindset. SoulRec introduced Tombstone and I when I was looking for another participant in the first Bronies React video. Tombstone and I still talk fairly regularly. He's awesome. I really couldn't say enough about Tombstone. All the praise he gets, he deserves. And he really, just such a humble, down-to-earth guy. And I'm glad because it seems that most people see that in him. Roscoe asks, is there going to be an official cast for Bronies React or is it going to switch each time? There is actually a semi-official cast, but part of what I like doing is alternating who's in the video. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of big names who are interested in being in these videos. Another thing I do is I'll go through and choose who I think is best for each topic. And it gives variety. So, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of alternating people. It also helps me to see, you know, who I want to use again in the future. Zane the Aiden and Solar Nova 100 ask, how long do you think this fandom will last after the show ends? Based on experience from the Chippendale Rescue Ranger fandom, which is still doing fairly strong, it's small but strong. I would say that this fandom will likely be around for a long time afterward. When Chippendale Rescue Rangers, this show, ended in, gosh, 92, the fandom is still going. It's been going on for over 20 years, and it didn't have the help of the internet and other things. A lot of these people came together once, you know, some of these websites got going. There was really no official gathering place till 1998 that I know of. But as far as the Bronies go, the fandom will shrink in size, which is an obvious thing. But I predict that it's going to be around for many years after the show's over. I don't think that's something that's going to be a concern. Longevity with the productive people we have in this fandom, I think, is not going to be an issue. Zane the Aiden, if you didn't already guess, this guy has a lot of questions. He asked, who's the most interesting person I have worked with? I'm going to have to say SoulRec. That guy is nuts. SoulRec by far. And this actually, he asked another question asking, what was SoulRec like when he wasn't yelling? It was like I was talking to a different person entirely. Actually, I think I was. Zane the Aiden asks, how did you first approach the more well-known people about doing a reaction video? Initially, I contacted everyone through YouTube and then kept more regular contact through Skype. Lemon El Gato Churro, and Zane the Aiden ask, who is my favorite background character? And FlyLuigi13 asks, who am I hoping to see / get a big role in Season 3? Both of these can be answered by 2 words. Hasty Turnip Truck! Yahoo! Brony and a Half asks, I was wondering how you got all other Bronies, like Dusty Cat, I Bring the Lulz, and Living Tombstone to be featured in Bronies React series. Well, it was very complicated, I asked. A lot of these guys, after the first one, where, as I mentioned earlier, I contacted these guys through YouTube. Now, I consider most of these guys my friends. And so we actually communicate more often than just, hey, I'm doing a video. You want to take part in it? We communicate quite often. Kintastic72 asked, did they really let you bring a camera on the roller coaster? I didn't ask. Darth Zintus asks, which of the main cast of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic do you think is most likely to be a gamer? Rainbow Dash. Because she has the competitive features towards almost anything. I would also throw AJ in there, but I don't think she would take the time to play video games. The Multicaster asks me to do Yap Lap style Love is in Bloom. Ballistic Blader, Mini Farkin, Skylight Legacy all ask, do I play any PC games? And if yes, which ones? If yes, could we play sometime? Played a lot of NASCAR Racing Season 2003. That was a great game for online play. Love playing that with friends. And nowadays, I play a lot of Team Fortress 2. Too much of Team Fortress 2. And as far as if we could play sometime, I wouldn't say no. However, with my Steam contacts, I keep them mostly personal. So most of the people on my Steam contact, well, I should say all the people on my Steam contacts are people I actually know. So I try to keep that personal. I don't just like add everybody. Mr. The Boy Project and DX Silver asked, I was wondering what kind of things you are planning to do on your channel in the future, like projects and such. Definitely more Bronies React, more PMVs, and perhaps more blog style videos. You guys are also probably going to see something come out. I'm going to Vegas next week, and you might start seeing a different style video for me as well. We'll see how it goes. But I'm constantly learning new things for the PMVs and trying out new methods. I love editing, love it, and I love learning new ways to do so. The community inspires me, and seeing some of the amazing videos out there just pushes me even harder. It makes me want to get better and better, and I use those videos kind of as a goal, like, wow, that was amazing, I want to learn that effect. Then I go and learn that effect. So it's, yeah, I mean, and it is a lot of work. You have to put in a lot of time to really get down some of the effects. I've been editing for a long time, and I'm just now starting to learn some of the effects I've learned with these videos. The last, or I should say the newest memoir video I made, I was using effects I've never seen before. I'm having fun, I love it. Ballistic Blader asks, what gave you the idea to make Bronies React? I wanted to give the Bronies a voice in a fun way that anyone, whether they're in or out of the fandom, could enjoy. And while not giving the trolls too much to feed on. And everyone loved it. Most people loved it. Ballistic Blader asks, do you know any of the musicians or artists of the fandom? Oh yes, I do. Nowadays I know a lot. Alex S, Living Tombstone, Silent, Denotive, Philly Poo. I mean, the list goes on with these guys. I've talked with quite a bit, and all of them are just awesome. As far as artists go, I know Toodles3702 on DeviantArt, who happens to be my girlfriend. And I've had the honor to meet someone part of the show. Ballistic Blader, how do you record the video of the people you have in Sid videos, the Bronies React? Do I visit them and do it? I actually do not fly to Israel every time I get Tombstone's footage. Official Pinkie Pie asks, what is your favorite episode of Season 1? Cutie Mark Chronicles was just such an awesome episode. It was my favorite episode of Season 1 because A, we get to see them as little kids and it was so cute. The history behind their friendship, that was really awesome. And Rainbow Dash got one hell of a role. Ballistic Blader, are there any downsides to having people watch your videos, haters, etc.? No. When I made Bronies React, I was entirely prepared to receive backlash. It would have been way too naive to think otherwise. So I knew there was going to be backlash coming from trolls and haters. I wasn't going in thinking, oh, nobody is going to give us crap. No, I knew it was going to come. And that was part of the defense. The haters and trolls pale in comparison to the fans. And because I know who I am, nobody can tell me otherwise. They can try all they want, but really all they're doing is wasting their time. The way I see it is being comfortable with who you are, what can they do? SQ2799 asked, did you see E3 2012? No. Shotgoo Lime asked, did you donate to the BronyCon Kickstarter project? No. HeyDare678 asks, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? Contrary to popular belief, it is not 42. You're supposed to divide 42 by 6, which is the number of stars making up the Big Dipper. You square that number because the world isn't round. Then you subtract 7, which is the number of days of the week. That will give you the answer you seek. Tian Trays asks, if you were stuck in a box, how would you think outside of it? Well, I would construct a teleportation device out of Tolent, which would take me to an inverted dimension. Flinkle and Armorios asks, who is your favorite Brony musician? This is one of the few questions I don't think I can answer. To put musician under one category is not right, because there's so many different types of musicians and so many different types of music. It's just way too hard to even narrow it down at all. but you know, a lot of my friends are Brony musicians, and they do a great job. I love what they do. I love listening to what they come up with. So all you Brony musicians out there, keep doing what you're doing. You're all my favorite. Crypt Child asks, each of the main 6 are locked in a horribly elaborate death trap designed to resist their specific skill set. You have just enough time to save 2 of them before all the death traps trigger. Who do you save? Or do you let the 6 friends die together so they don't suffer survivor's guilt? Also, you have a cute nose. Thanks. I would save Rainbow Dash and AJ. You gotta keep the shipping going. Mikey Mansum asks, what pony related thing did you see/hear first? And what made you look at My Little Pony in the first place? Well, to answer that one, my girlfriend did. Actually, the first pony related thing I can remember seeing is actually the, damn, I'm gonna have to look at the name of that. One second. Okay. It's My Little Pony Friendship is Magic provides a realistic representation of life in Ponyville, made by Mr. Yaredovich. I think that was the first thing I remember seeing. I also saw the anthology before becoming a Brony, but I remember enjoying them and not knowing what the hell was going on. Unknown Brunian Yellow Dirt Muffin asks, which princess is best princess? Alex S. is best princess. Spazzy High asks, where were you on the night of the 15th? I was most likely playing TF2 with Philly, Mike, and I Am Real Ninja asks, what's your personal opinion on musical artist Andrew WK recently announcing that he's a Brony? Cool. X Sphinx for Evil X, what do you think about the infamous documental The Bronies of New York City, made by Sam Cooke? I saw a lot of crap that this documentary was getting. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It was made by Sam Cooke. I actually was one of the few who apparently enjoyed this documentary, because what I felt like, first off, it was incredibly interesting and it showed both sides. It showed sides of the fandom that sometimes people like to pretend isn't there. And you know what? It also showed it from the hater side. I mean, they interviewed one hater in there, and this guy will creep you out. But as far as the Bronies that went on, what I loved about it was seeing the impact that the show has had on them, you know? While people argue whether or not, oh, these guys are socially awkward or anything, it's like, guys, you know, first off, I think people need to stop concerning one or a couple individuals as the whole fandom. You know, it's simple that these people found something in the show that it's helping them. And that's the way I saw it. I found it very interesting, and I enjoyed it. Six Color Rainbow asks, for what values of capital X does the function 3 lowercase x cubed plus 2 lowercase x squared minus 8 lowercase x minus 9 equals 0? Clever, because there's actually no capital X in the function, therefore, trick question. However, if you did do it properly, none. Dealt with and Regretful asks, but will it blend? Josh Fry 6696 asks, if you could choose any background pony to have an episode of their very own, which one would you pick? Hayseed Turnip Truck. The Lozer82 asks, Crush, Kill, Destroy, Swag. Do you know where this comes from? Obviously, Mary Poppins. The Game Ranter asks, Race, I have a very, very serious question. It should be taken very seriously and it should maybe not yet be answered dramatically seriousness. If I was a potato and you were a plane, would you like to smash pumpkins with your Thor hammer? And if not, would you like to see Twilight Sparkle turn into Big Mass Pimp? Now, I bet you're thinking in your head, wow, I like drugs. I wouldn't like to disagree, but yes, plastic cups are pretty cool. Now, to wrap it all up, winter now smells like cupcakes to me. You need help. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could
We need to talk about the birds and the bees.
The Metal Man 3 asks, who are some of the music artists that inspire you? Well, first off, I am a huge soundtrack fan. Huge. I love soundtracks. Hans Zimmer, John Williams, fantastic. James Horner, I could go on and name a bunch of these guys. Just such good stuff. My iPod is mostly soundtracks. And of them all, I would have to say Hans Zimmer is definitely one of my favorites. Also, Alan Parsons Project. I feel like a lot of those type of songs are things that just really get my imagination flowing ever since I was a kid. definitely inspiration in there. Light Shady says, in your reaction video to the season 2 finale, it looked like you beat up those pillows pretty hard. Are the pillows too badly hurt, or did you make up with them afterwards? Actually, we were unable to work things out. They kicked me out for the time being. King Yao Tol asks, how was your life before My Little Pony? Did you have any other hobbies? I've met some amazing people through the show, and also, you know, the show itself has been great time filler. As far as other hobbies, I've already mentioned it, and some people know I'm a huge NASCAR fan. Well, one thing is that I don't think a lot of people know is I actually, not just a NASCAR fan, I have actually raced, and I mean in a season, racing a race car. And as well as I'm also quite a fan of some smash 'em up stuff. Do you want to see some videos? Smashing up cars is actually a hobby of mine. Doing it while in a car. Cartoons, NASCAR, and mechanical engineering. Orblin asks, do you read fan fictions? If you do, what do you think of them? I've only read Chippendale Rescue Ranger fanfic, so I can answer on that. If any of you are Rescue Ranger fans or remember the show, I highly recommend you check out this comic called Of Mice and Mayhem. It's a full story comic. It is intense and it's awesome. Other stories I've read, Fly to the Light, Rhyme and Reason, just amazing works of writing. They're all pro. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Where do you think you would be if you didn't do Bronies React? I would be obviously more out of the spotlight as far as all you guys go, and I'm thankful for every subscriber I get, and I feel like I owe, you know, so much to the people giving me your time. So whenever I put out a video, I try to make sure that it's a video that I would want to watch. And yeah, as far as where would I be, I would just probably still be earning my 168th subscriber. Do I have any friends that are bronies? Ask Armorillos. Besides the friends that I've met through the fandom, I have actually converted a couple friends, I mentioned earlier. And also, before I was into the show, I had a couple friends and my girlfriend who were into the show. Bob Indinop asks, is there any way that the Bronies React series can become a more regular thingy than once in a month? No. For several reasons. It takes about a month just to put one together. Spreading it out every 2 months gives us a chance to kind of find the right topics to react to. That way we're not just jamming too much down everyone's throats. You know, so I don't want to do it too often to kind of kill the spark that it has going. I want to make sure that what we're reacting to is react worthy. SRT Cup Panda asks, what do you prefer, chimichurri or cherry chonga? Cherry chonga sounds good. How was MLP FIM in this community changed my life? It has definitely made it more fun. SRT Cup Panda wants to know, how has Morgan Freeman changed my life? Well, dramatically. He was, after all, the first African-American president. Would you ever pony, wonders SRT Cup Panda? Nay. Mr. Cartoon Lover 777 asks, what are your top 5 favorite My Little Pony Friendship is Magic songs? Winter Wrap Up, Find a Pet, At the Gala, Smile, 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 and Love is in Bloom. Manuel she asks, which is best cutie mark? Scootaloo. Dragon Jaw LU asks, what do you think of Angel? Would you have him as a pet, and why so? Angel is an asshole. He wouldn't survive as my pet. Dragon Jaw LU asks, who is my favorite brony? ACRacebest, but man, is he a narcissist. Real Lunar Beats asks, why did you come up with the Bronies React? Felt like the right thing to do. I've mentioned it a little bit, but yeah, it basically was a matter of, this will be fun to do, let's see if we can do it. I really wasn't anticipating it was going to take off like it did, but I'm glad it did. It made the whole experience a lot much more fun. Big Time Brony Maple asks, do you think My Little Pony Season 3 will be as good, or do you think they will make it girlish and childish? I think it will be as good, because DHX isn't dumb. Studio B has been amazing, and they know what they're doing. So, I think we are in for a grand Season 3. Omega 2900, how did Bronies React start? One thing that I haven't mentioned in the other answers is that I actually was close to not doing it. I figured, you know what, I'm gonna ask these guys, and if no one's interested, no one responds, or people say no, screw you, I wasn't gonna make it. Like, hey, I'll try. And when so many people came up to me and said, yes, let's do this, I was actually kind of blown away. I was like, wow, is this really that good of an idea? Okay, let's do it, cool. So it was the motivation from my fellow Bronies that really got this thing going. GatchFan48 asks, which NASCAR driver do you think Rainbow Dash reminds you of the most? I'm gonna have to say either Kurt and Kyle Busch or Brad Keselowski, because they're extremely competitive and occasionally it gets in the way. But yeah, the competitive level, it's almost like the Busch brothers especially. It's all they want to do out there is win. You never get that feeling like, oh, they're just going for a certain spot, you know, just points racing. They are in it to win it, and I like that attitude, and I think Rainbow Dash emulates that. Alright, Pinky Gummy Pie asks, how fun is it making 20% cooler and funny videos all the time? Is it fun? Yes! Pun Guy 13 asks, do you plan on attending BronyCon anytime? Because if you happen to, I'm more than certain a lot of people would love to see you at a convention. As is probably obvious at this point, I am not going to BronyCon, sadly. And as sad as it is, I really wish I was. I wish I could have made it out there. But I am going to Everfree. Convention-wise, I am at Everfree. I'm going there, gonna have fun. Equestria LA, also, I will be there. So those are two conventions I will be at. As far as BronyCons go, part of the problem is flights, and I'm actually in a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend, which means, like, when I went to Texas, I actually have to fly there. And a lot of my money goes towards that. Right now, I am not employed, so a lot of my money goes to traveling just to see my girlfriend. So I'm gonna have to kind of work with that on next chance of possibly going to BronyCon. I have started doing some monetization with some videos, so hopefully that's gonna help a little bit towards funding such a thing. I might also set up a PayPal account at some point. I noticed a lot of people do that, saying like, you know, if you'd like to donate. That would also help with the other videos too. But I don't know, I might set that up. As far as though BronyCon, obviously I would love to make it out there. At some point I hope I can. Super Scotty97 returns, asks, who in your opinion is better waifu? Mike the Microphone or Solrak? That's a tough one because Mike is an amazing cook, but Solrak has an amazing voice. Denotive. Crazy Colpster asks, better name, Bob or Bill? Richard. Akron187 asks, what do you look forward to / expect of season 3 My Little Pony? I'm just looking forward to seeing the new storylines. The season opener, I'm very excited for. I'm excited to see if we see a return of Discord. We hear that Mr. Delancey is doing some voice work, so hey, keep an eye open for that. I'm anticipating. I thought maybe Discord would actually have shown up in the season finale, but I just have this funny feeling we might see that crazy creature again. But I'm just excited about all of it. Whew! So, 7,500 sub special. Not quite at this point, is it? But, you know, I'm sorry about the wait. Obviously, I was out of town. But thank you guys so much. So many questions, as you saw. If I missed any, I apologize. And just, wow, so many questions. Thank you guys for participating. Enjoy the videos coming up. There's a lot planned this summer. Keep an eye open. This is ACRacebest.